Hello, crypto boys and ghouls, and welcome back to the channel, Tales from the Cryptmancer, where we feature content on play and earn games on the blockchain, such as Splinterlands. In today's video, I wanted to talk about, which is an interesting topic, and that is soulbound reward cards. And has there been a drop rate change, a perceptible or noticeable drop rate change for soulbound reward cards? Well, since soulbound reward cards have been released, and I have been having a feeling a little bit that the number of cards being dropped has slowed down or decreased since soulbound reward cards were released. I guess it was 3 months ago now. And I was starting to collect data on this topic, and that's why I posted to Twitter just some of the initial data findings, and I want to talk about some updates here. Specifically, if we look here, just for everyone's reference, when the soulbound reward cards were announced back at the end of January of this year, the drop rates were confirmed here for the reward cards, and it was set to 33% for all the league levels outside of novice. So if you got bronze chess, silver, gold, diamond, or champion chess, your chances of getting a reward card drop would be 33%, or 1 in 3 chances, essentially, of getting a reward card. Now, in a champion chest, you might get certainly a lot more reward cards, like the quantity, than in a bronze chest. And the type of rarities of those cards would be different between the leagues, but just the chance of getting a card drop was 33%, or 1 in 3, is what the odds are. And I had posted on Twitter, and if you don't follow me on Twitter, I do recommend you do, because I do post updates like this to Twitter when I talk about things that are just kind of shorter content rather than creating videos on. I just post to Twitter. And what I posted recently to Twitter here was this post, and I said, where have all the soulbound reward cards gone? Have drop rates been silently nerfed? Are you getting an average 33% drop rate lately? And if they've been nerfed, is that a good thing or a bad thing? And I linked the KioKiz website that has the reward card print rate data, as well as a recent diamond chest opening there, where we opened, I think it was 10 chests on a daily opening and got 1 card drop. And I followed up that thread with more details, and I mentioned that in the soulbound reward card season number 1, which occurred February 1st through February 15th, that printed approximately 300,000 common cards per common type, basically, in the set. And if you extrapolate to the upcoming end of season that just happened a couple days ago, soulbound reward card season number 6, we might expect to see 1.8 million total commons printed per card in the soulbound reward card set. And with only 1 day to go before the end of season, when this Twitter post was made, the game had only printed 1.4 million commons. That didn't account for end of season chests and 1 day of daily chests. And we're going to take a look at that data here as well in just a minute. But it was just kind of my feeling that reward cards, soulbound reward cards, had slowed down from a drop percentage. We talked about how that might also be impacted by the number of daily chests and end of season chests being impacted or maybe decreasing due to the energy changes that also were implemented in the game, that could have a factor as well. So what I did is I asked the question for the town hall that happened yesterday evening in the US, and here's the question that I asked and the response that the team provided.
Rewards. Have there been any changes to soulbound reward card drop percentages in chests or the algorithm for determining drop chance in recent weeks? Not that I know of. Investigator or Weirdbeard? Any changes?
In recent weeks, no. There was a correction maybe a month ago. I have to scroll through. Yeah, April 18th.
Yeah.
But that didn't affect the actual drop rate of like what type of cards you get. There were some issues with some of the finer details of the math on like what you're getting between potions and cards per league.
All right. I'm going with no then. Voting.
So if you're a viewer of this channel, you'll probably know that I'm pretty persistent when it comes to this type of topic and data. And I just wasn't exactly satisfied with the answer that I received on the town hall. And that's fine. I mean, I don't expect the team to have all the answers at the kind of tip of their fingers at all times. So I followed up with Investigator on Discord, and shout out to Investigator. He answered the inquiry in his evening, I'm sure, late in his evening, and was super professional about it, and also said I could share the information that he shared with me directly with the community, which was great. So thank you, Investigator, for clarifying this. And I want to share what he had told me. And basically, here's basically our conversation. And he said that it was actually in the April 4th patch notes that the drop rates should now accurately reflect what was published in the article. And what basically that is showing here, if you look at the patch notes from April 4th of this year, so about a month ago, there's a note here that says under items hotfixed into the game, these were hotfixed, and it says, made some corrections to the rewards table to ensure that the percentages match what was published in the original article here. And what Investigator clarified, and basically, I'll just read what I just confirmed. So on the original Soulbound reward card release prior to April 4th, so between February 1st and the beginning of April, Soulbound reward cards may have been rewarded at a higher percentage than the expected or communicated drop rate of 33%. So if people are perceiving a reward, quote, nerf, it may be because the drop or print rates for Soulbound reward cards have indeed slowed down, but are now operating within the originally planned parameters of the drop rates. And what Investigator said was, short answer is yes, it wasn't a huge percentile difference, and I think it mainly might have impacted bronze or silver, but players have been receiving cards, or players may have been receiving cards at a slightly higher rate than intended during that period of time, which was for the first 2 months of Soulbound reward cards. And then I just, just clarify with Investigator that I could share this conversation with the community so they could see some of the data. And, going back to my tweet here, talking about the data, what I had mentioned is, if we extrapolated the first season of Soulbound reward cards at approximately 300,000 commons, if it was extrapolated linearly across all the seasons, we should be seeing approximately 1.8 million of a common reward card printed. And if you go to Kyoka's website, you can see here, even after end of season and 1 day into the new season, for a reward common, we only have 1.468 million copies printed. So definitely under the expected 1.8 million that if the drop rate were to have continued from February 1st when Soulbound reward cards were released, it would definitely be a higher print rate here. So what we do have is confirmation here that indeed the Soulbound drop rate has slowed down, but it has slowed down to what the team believes to be the correct drop rate, which was communicated when Soulbound reward cards were announced at the end of January, and that being 33%. So it looks like for the first 2 months of Soulbound reward cards, if you were playing the game, you got probably higher than average or higher than planned Soulbound reward card drops at that time. So now it may seem like a nerf or feel like a nerf right now that you're not getting as many Soulbound reward cards, but this was actually, according to the team, the planned drop rate that we're seeing now in the game. So I wanted to provide this data, provide the information here for you to see, again, because I felt that I couldn't have been the only one sensing that things had slowed down here somewhat. And I can share with you as well my actual percentage. I opened up, I think it was 272 end of season chests this last season, and my card drop rate was actually around 26.8%, if I recall correctly. So it was actually less than 33% for my end of season rewards. That's a small sample size. I'm sure with variance, it will eventually get to the proper average drop rate that we would expect to see. That's how RNG works. But in either case, again, I wanted to share this data, and thanks again to Investigator for clarifying that and providing the information and the references so I could give this information out to you, the Splinterlands players, so you know what's going on. Until next time, keep stacking those stats.